There is a lot more to being a gentleman than the way you look. In this video, we are going to get deep and understand the character of a gentleman. I have identified 7 personality traits that both you and others will identify as being respectable, intelligent, and charming. And if you can't demonstrate these character traits, then you can't call yourself a gentleman, no matter where you get your suits made or how you tie your tie. Leveling up as a young man is just as much about what you change inside as what you change on the outside. So let's begin by looking at the first personality trait of a gentleman. Whether in a dating scenario, a professional scenario, or at odds with his friends, a gentleman never becomes desperate. A gentleman maintains dignity and patiently pursues what he wants, without ever resorting to measures that damage his self-respect. A gentleman has an unwavering belief that whatever happens, he will be okay. That means you don't make unethical decisions to keep your boss happy, because you know you have other options in your career. If you're in school and you feel like a teacher is being unfairly harsh toward you, you don't suddenly become their teacher's pet. And in dating, it's highly off-putting if you are pushy, clingy, and always seeking validation from her. Think of James Bond. He is the master of getting what he wants, but there's always the sense that he could take it or leave it. When a man is less desperate for the approval of others, it actually has the reverse effect, making him more magnetic and appealing. And in turn, others will recognize your worth and be more inclined to give you what you want. So whatever happens in life, ensure that you have enough confidence in your own abilities so that you never ever become desperate. When I see a man who dresses like crap, eats bad food, and has a messy home, I see a man who does not respect himself. Unfortunately, this is the state of many men today. But a gentleman pays no attention to this trend of slovenliness and always treats himself with the utmost self-respect. The good news is that you can build self-respect into your daily routine, and this is a concept that many of my viewers who are ex-service members will understand. On a simple level, your skincare is a form of self-respect, so is providing yourself with healthy meals. And my favorite form of self-respect is style. Telling yourself that you deserve to dress well and look good every day is one of the most transformational ways you can show yourself respect. Whatever else is going on in life, self-respecting habits will make you feel like the best version of yourself. And when you have self-respect, you're more likely to make smart decisions and treat others well, which brings me nicely onto my next point. No man is an island. It's one of my favorite quotes. It's by John Donne. You cannot be a gentleman if you do not show gentlemanly behaviors to others and in some small way make the world a better place. This can be with gestures like manners, giving compliments to others, or bigger things like fundraising and volunteering. It could be as simple and small scale as helping your elderly neighbor. For example, when I lived in LA, there was a man in his 80s who lived above me, and I gave him my phone number so anytime he came back with heavy groceries, I could come and help him carry them up. A gentleman also shows kindness with the way he talks to people, especially those lower than him in social status. If you dress sharp and appear successful, some people can be intimidated by that. So it's crucial that you diffuse that impression by being as kind and warm as possible. The next personality trait of a gentleman is that he is unique and authentic. In British upper-class society, eccentricity is celebrated, and the idea of an eccentric English gentleman is even a well-known trope. That's because a gentleman is a man who is not afraid to think for himself. He understands that his unique tastes, abilities, and opinions are some of the most valuable things he has to offer to the world. So he does not try and conform with the masses, but prefers to do his own thing. This might reflect in the way you dress, your hobbies, or your ambitions. And while some of your tastes might be more traditionally masculine than others, remember it is your version of a gentleman that you are creating. And you must feel free to express yourself, as long as it comes from an authentic place. Some might consider the fact that I dress like this pretty much all of the time to be quite eccentric, but it's what appeals to me, and it would be inauthentic for me to dress like everybody else. I wish American society was a little more celebrating of eccentricity like Britain is. But there is still plenty of room for you to express your personal identity however you want to. Another under-discussed trait of a true gentleman is that he is open-minded. And this is one of the biggest differences between an upper-class snob and a gentleman, because they are not the same thing. A gentleman does not use his style, intellect, or manners to look down on other people. There are all types of people required to make an interesting and productive society. And a gentleman understands that and values the uniqueness of others just as he values it in himself. And just because you have strong convictions on politics, social issues, or art, doesn't make you any less of a man to be open-minded and listen to people who have a different point of view to you. In fact, being able to listen and speak politely with people who have a different perspective is one of the hallmarks of an intellectual person. Next, we come on to another key trait of a gentleman, taking ownership. With a gentleman, the buck stops with him. He does not bore others with excuses when things go wrong. He's not afraid to carry a burden on his shoulders and take responsibility. And he takes responsibility for both his actions and his state of mind. You know, as we progress from teenager to adulthood, we become aware of certain issues in our minds or demons that might hold us back or lead us to making unwise decisions. But a gentleman is aware of his demons and he resolves to be better in whatever way he finds appropriate. This could be through therapy, self-reflection, or lifestyle changes that work best for him. It's essential that you take ownership of your actions so you can resolve to become better. And when you do this, you'll be a better partner to your girlfriend or wife, a better father to your children, and a better brother to your fellow man. This final point refers not to just a personality trait, but rather a whole philosophy around life. Most men live out their lives in a hazy type of existence, drifting from one socially constructed stage of life to another, never really taking risks, never really having the courage to do what they want to do. But this is not how a gentleman lives his life. There is a beautiful line actually featured in the last James Bond movie in his obituary, which I think sums this up perfectly. The motto is, "I shall use my time." This is actually from the credo of author Jack London, and the whole excerpt is as follows. I think you're going to find it very inspirational. I would rather be ashes than dust. I would rather that my spark should burn out in a brilliant blaze than it should be stifled by dry rot. I would rather be a superb meteor, every atom of me in magnificent glow, than a sleepy and permanent planet. The function of man is to live, not to exist. I shall not waste my days trying to prolong them. I shall use my time. However you want to use your time is entirely up to you. Maybe you decide that the 9-to-5 life is not for you and you want to become an entrepreneur. Perhaps you have a vision for art and you dedicate your life to being a painter or musician. Or your idea of a perfect life might look like creating a large family and having a homestead. A gentleman is not afraid to step outside of the ordinary and mundane and create his dream life and use his time on this planet in the most fulfilling way possible. Gentlemen, I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you're feeling inspired to become a better man, I highly encourage you to take on a role model whom you can look up to and learn from. For my 5 suggestions, check out this video I made about men like Cary Grant, Ralph Lauren, Sidney Poitier, and more. You will learn about their upbringing, what they achieved, and the adversities they had to overcome. And I want to hear from you in the comments. Are there any more personality traits that you think I should have included in this video? I look forward to speaking with you all in the comments, and until the next one, thank you very much for watching.